Hello friends, in my video about proxy pattern. Proxy pattern it is considered one of the most powerful patterns used for various purposes like format, caching, validation and notification, as we will see later in this video. And it is about a target object and a proxy object, and we use the proxy object to control or interact with the target object. And you may be wondering why using this proxy object, because the main purpose or the main advantage of using it is to take more over control of interactions with the target object. And maybe the topic is still a little bit mysterious for you, but let me clarify a little bit more this topic in this animated video here that contains the target object, the person, and the proxy object, person proxy, and we can control the properties of this target object by this proxy object that contains the handling process or the handling logic needed for controlling this target object by two common functions or methods, get and set. And by intuition, get invoked when getting the property of the object, and set is invoked when setting or modifying the property of the object. And let us going on to the next section, to the code, to make the topic more understandable. In our code, by the way, we will use JavaScript along the playlist of the design patterns. Okay, so let's go on. So we have here the target object person, and we created another proxy object here, person proxy equal new instance of proxy object, and we put in the first argument the target object, and in the second argument we will put the handling process or the handling logic needed for controlling the properties of this target object. Here is our logic needed by two common methods or functions, get and set. And for get function we have two arguments, the first argument the object and the second argument is the property. If we use the get method, we will console log the value of the property is the value that we will print it. Okay, but if we use the set property, we have three arguments: object, property, and the value, the new value, and we will console log change it the property from old value to the new one. Okay, and we will set the value of the property to the new one, as we can see. If we complete our code here to console log, what happens if we type person proxy.name, we will access or get the property of the target object person by the proxy object, and we console log person proxy.age, we will access the name and the age properties. Okay, and after that we will set the name, the age, the nationality to the new values. Okay, and as we said before, if we use the set method, it will console log change it property from the old value to the new one. Okay, so if we see here in our browser, if we run on live server, the following will be shown. The value of the name is John Doe, and the value of the age is 42. By using the first two lines here, if we access the properties by the get method. Okay, and if we use the set method, we will console log change the name from John Doe to Michael, and change the age from 42 to 23, and change the nationality from American to Canadian. Okay, and by this we accessed the property of the target object and modified the value of these properties. Another application of proxy pattern of caching here, as we can see, we have a heavy calculation function called expensive calculation. It does heavy calculation of summation, as we can see, and we have created the object that is the rule of proxy object, and it's called calculator. As we can see, in the first argument we have an empty argument, in the second argument we have the handling logic or the handling process. Okay, in the get method we put a condition. If the property in the object, for the first time, if we try to get the value, if the property already in the object, it will return the value, else it will create a new constant called result, and will store inside it the result of the expensive calculation function, and it will put the value in the property of the object, and it will return the value. Okay, so for the first time I get the value, it will do the heavy calculation function, okay, and it will store the result in the property of the object. The second time I try to get the value, it will retrieve the cached value that we have already stored in the property of the object as result. So as we can see here, for console log, what happens here, as we can see in these two lines respectively, if we refresh our browser to see what happens in the live server, in the first line we do our heavy calculation function and store the result of the function and the property of the object. And the second time, as we can see here respectively, retrieves the cached value that we have already stored in the property of the object as value. So it is make benefits for us for better performance, as we can conclude. And here another example of the proxy object for formatting. We will format the value of the price from 12.5 to 12.50, and in our code, as we can see, we have the target object product and has two properties, price and stored, and we defined another object. It is the proxy object is formatted product equal new instance of the proxy object. The first argument is the target object, and the second argument, it is the logic needed for controlling the target object product, okay. And here in the get method, the logic as following: if the property equal price, it will return the value of the price and execute the function to fix it to add 2 digits after the 2 mark, okay, else it will return the value at the same. And if we use the set method, it will console.log the property changed from the old value to the new one, okay, and it will return the new value of the property. And if we complete our code here to console.log, what happens in these two lines, it will get or access the property of the target object product, price and stored, okay. And the third line will use the set method for setting or modifying the value of the property price here to 14. And if we run our code here on the browser by using the live server, we can see it printed the value of the price here in the first line. In the second line, printed the value of the stored property, and the third line used the set method for typing price changed from 12.5 to 14. As you can see, we changed the value of the property price. So as we can see, we have seen another example formatting for the value of the price here. And finally, we have another application of notification here. We have the target object data, okay, which contains the property name, and we have defined another object called observer, and inside it we have defined our function update for replace the old value with a new one, okay. And it will the function of this object to make notification of it changing, okay. And we have here our proxy object data proxy, okay. In the first argument, the target object, and in the second argument, our logic. In the set method here, we have our observer object, and we will execute the function inside this object, okay. We will then set the value to the property of the object and will return true. So if we here try to set the name property of the data proxy object to pop, if we try to change this value, we will execute the set method, okay. Inside it, we will execute the update function in the observer object, okay. And if we can see here in our browser on the live server, we see the console log as following: property name changed from Alice to Pop. Our default name was Alice, and we have changed it to Pop, as we can see. So we also used our proxy pattern as a notification design pattern for us. Another example of validation here, as you can see, we have the target object, and we have the validation handle. It is a constant we have defined to put it in the second argument of the proxy object. We have the proxy object as we have defined the validated person. Okay, the first argument the target object, and the second argument the handling logic or process validation handler that also we have defined, and inside it we have our logic for the set method here. If the property equal name and the type of the value not equal string, we will throw a new error, name must be a string. Else if the property equal age and type of value not equal number, we will throw a new error, another error, age must be a number. And we will set the value in the property of the object. And here we used our try catch handling method for setting the name and the age, and we set the name and the age in the wrong way. We have set the name a number, and we have set the age a string. Okay, to test our application here for validation. And here we have set our name and age in the right way, name as a string and the age as a number. And we finally finally we console log our results of the proxy object validated person. And if we can see here in the browser on the live server, as we can see, we have got two errors because we have set the name and the age in the wrong way. Okay, and finally we console log the proxy object that's called validated person here in this line. Okay, as we can see. So another benefit of the proxy pattern as a validation, as a validation for us. So as we have mentioned before, proxy pattern gives us higher control of interactions with the target object, and it can has various use cases as we have mentioned, but there is a trade-off because overusing of proxy pattern or performing heavy operations on each handler method invocation can affect our application's performance negatively. So we should be aware of that and be careful, especially on performance critical code projects. And that's all about my video, and I hope it was simple and informative for you. And if you have any comments, please mention it in the comment section. I appreciate it to improve my content. And don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, share to support my channel and help me grow. And I promise better content in the next videos. Bye.